How's it going, everybody? I thought that we were done with maps, but then we had a few Overwatch incidents this weekend during the Dominion Series. Look at this. 3 people from each team going to C, but the attackers get the point. This wasn't a one-off occurrence, but it happened repeatedly, so we're looking into this today. Are the spawn locations off, or were these mistakes from the teams that let this happen? So same as last time, I measured the fastest rotations possible from spawn. Once again, these were done with 7.5 meters per second movement speed characters, just to see if there are any massive discrepancies. And as you can see, these are pretty much the same with 11 seconds and 11.15 seconds. So in measurements, we actually had the defenders arrive ever so slightly earlier. Yet in the clip at the beginning, we had the attackers win the point before the defenders even arrived. This partly was because of the characters that went to C. We had Marshall and Setmix on the Orochis, and as you can see, Setmix decided to go through mid and not to C. Marshall, on the other hand, was the first to arrive on C and start the cap. So, the first hero from the defenders to arrive on C was Hiren on Jeonhu. Jeonhu and Raider both have 7 meters per second movement speed, so I redid the starting rotations with one of these heroes. These are the numbers we get now. 13.2 seconds for defenders and 12.7 seconds for attackers. Now the attackers do arrive earlier. Don't ask me why this is, especially since the attackers can even get stuck on their own minions at the beginning. But it's at least consistent with what we've seen happen in those tournament matches. When comparing the two different movement speeds, we get 11.15 seconds against 13.2 seconds. That's roughly a 2-second gap, which should not allow for an uncontested capture. But it's not always that clear cut. People can bump into each other, can bump into something on the map, or people readjust their bollocks at the beginning and start running late. There are many factors that could play a role here. So we tested these exact scenarios then. 3 people on the attacker side with Orochi in the lead, followed by Raider and Shugoki. Defender, we tried with multiple different setups. But the result is that we always managed to stop the cap. Sometimes barely, but it was always contested. We tried different spawn locations depending on hero, different people with different heroes, and so on. But the conclusion that we came to is that it's user error. The players made some sort of mistake that resulted in this outcome. Being late at starting your sprint, bumping into each other, being not entirely sure who goes where, whatever. Fact is that Overwatch is indeed slightly attacker favored at the moment. Multiple changes play a role why this never happened previously. For one, nobody really ran an assassin in the big team fight on C. And Shugoki's super sprint made up for the fact that the team compositions didn't really have a fast sprint hero. But the nerf that came with the Halloween event did actually have an effect here. So what does this mean for the average matchmaking player then? Because there we don't have single pick and we do have perks. So 3 Orochis could easily cap the C point against a full Raider team, for example. Sending a single assassin, or rather a hero with a sprint speed of 7.5 meters per second to C is probably a pretty good idea when you are on the defender side. We will have the 4th Dominion Qualifier for the 3rd major this weekend, so we can observe if people adapt to this, or if we will see some bad starting rotations again. For now, hope the video was helpful. Thanks for watching. Later everybody.